Hello and welcome to Dharma Talk Tuesday of this week. I'm so excited to be with you today, as always. And today's topic is empathic enrollment, what's really going on inside their heads. And the reason why I want to highlight this topic today is actually just from my own calls I've been doing this week with people. And I'm just, all I can think is, wow, I'm so grateful that I'm so amazing at enrollment because I'm able to there's things that people are saying or that they're thinking, but they're not saying. And if you don't draw them to light, if you don't shine the light on them, if you don't talk about them or ask more questions, or just honestly address them, not only is the person not going to enroll with you, but also you've just done them a massive disservice because now they've got another conversation, more evidence under their belt on why they're limited, on why they can't, on etc. in terms of why they're stuck. And the reason why they're on the phone with you is obviously to get unstuck, to have some kind of breakthrough. And so your job is really to provide them what they're looking for. And so often people don't even know what they're looking for. So that's the essence of what we're talking about today. I'll just say right off the bat, if you know someone who's struggling with enrollment right now and you really want to make a difference for them and you really want to be an angel for them, tag them in this video right now. Share this on your page. And I'll also say right off the bat that if you are this person, let's pay attention because you're about to pick up some gold that I'm going to lay down for you here in this video. So I just want to do a little intro here as people are joining and as you are tagging your friends. I love enrollment so much. And enrollment is one of the things that we do as entrepreneurs in business, who have businesses and in our careers to create revenue flow. Because if we don't have great enrollment skills, we literally don't have clients. Enrollment is something we do in relationships too. So for example, Matt wanted to go on a date on Friday night and he really wanted to go to Chinese and I really did not want Chinese. And so I enrolled him into something else. That's enrollment. I am not kidding. That's enrollment. Enrollment shows up everywhere. And it allows you to be in harmonious relationship with other people because you're on the same page, because you've communicated what you want, you know what they want, they've communicated what they want, and you can be happy and present and both people feel like they've gotten what they've needed. It's sort of like negotiation. And it's so key. And so if you find yourself to be bad at enrollment, that's okay. If you find that you don't like enrollment, if you're not into it, if you don't enjoy it, that's okay because you get to get better at it. And how many people know that when you're great at something, you kind of start to like it more? When you start to really enjoy something, or when you start to get really skillful and, like Zen, I saw you joined. I bet when you first started martial arts, you didn't like it so much, but then you got masterful at it. You got better and better and better. And now you enjoy it because you've got a flow and a competence. There's a certain level of competence that's required in order to enjoy something. So now I can't get enough of enrollment. And I love getting on the phone with people, creating breakthroughs together with them, creating powerful results with them. Something I'm really up to in my work right now is enrolling other people into their visions and into believing in themselves and into enrolling into their programs and services. And that takes me even having a higher level of competence with enrollment because it's there's another degree of separation, right? So I'm really passionate about this topic. And if you're a Dharma queen and if you're committed to creating amazing results in your life, you get to be passionate about it too. So I'm going to help you with a competence piece today and give you 5 tips for getting into the other person's head. And I want to tell you the 5 things that are likely happening that are causing breakdown in your enrollment conversations. So you may have been present for the objections training I did last month, and if not, that's okay. You may have already been trained in objections by somebody else. You may not even know what I'm talking about with objections, and that's okay too. And I want to provide you a different angle today when it comes to enrollment and objections that is more of like the empathic angle. So if you're someone who considers yourself empathic or sensitive or intuitive, I think you'll find today's Dharma Talk Tuesday really resonant and helpful in a way that you may not have experienced other trainings on enrollment and objections. So I'm super excited to be with you today and to get this started. All right, so let's dive right in. There's a point in the conversation where you're on an enrollment call where you are in an enrollment conversation where you make an offer. And that sounds like, you know what? Let's say the person's name is Molly. You know what, Molly? You are a perfect fit for my X, Y, and Z program. I'd love to share it with you. Would you like to hear about it? And she's like, sure. Okay. And then you start talking about it. And then you're like, here's the cost, and here are the features, and here are the benefits, and here's what you get, and here's some bonuses. And what do you think? Are you ready to do it? She's like, objection. I can't afford it. I don't have time. I need to ask my husband, or whatever. And so, you have a choice. You have a choice at that point. Either you say, okay, I'll follow up with you another time, end of conversation, or your other choice is to stand in the fire with her and dig deep and explore and find out like where that objection's really coming from, and also if she's open to the possibility of getting past it. Because, you know, what I know to be true is that when people have objections to something that they actually authentically want. Now, granted, if she says, no, I'm not interested in your thing, that's a whole other story. If someone's a straight up no, you honor that. But if someone's like, yes, I want this, but that yes, but is stopping them everywhere in their life. And so the truth is, if they don't buy from you, they're going to go buy from somebody else. And so you need to get really good at handling those objections, because they might as well buy from you, assuming you're masterful and amazing at what you do. And that's just an underlying assumption here, right? That what you're offering is good stuff. So I'm going to give you 5 things today that I want you to be really mindful of and try and implement and practice when you're on enrollment conversations that will cause a different result for you, that will cause the person to cross over the line. You know, typically, historically speaking, when it comes to my clients and when it comes to people I've worked with in a one-on-one capacity, when I've done one-on-one work with them or group work with them, they turn around and create results right away when they go and implement what I teach in terms of enrollment. You know, I used to be a coach in another program, like not only my own program, but in another program, and people would get on the phone with me one-on-one for that program, and they would turn around and create an enrollment the following day. So, you know, and within my own program, we have a consistent 80% close ratio among my clients, which is very high. So it's really good stuff. So pay attention. All right, here we go. So the first thing that usually gets in the way when it comes to effective enrollment conversations and crossing someone over the line is that you don't believe. The first thing that gets in the way is that you don't believe. And what I mean by that is, in order for you to climb over and overcome any kind of objection, time, money, whatever, you need to believe that the thing that you are offering, the program, the service, is life-changing. You need to fully believe it. You need to be fully enrolled in it. I was in an enrollment conversation with a woman the other day, and you know, she said she wanted to do my group coaching program, Maya, Money Alignment Yoga Academy, but there was a yes, but. It was yes, but. And I was like, okay, let's explore this, because I'm hearing that you're interested, but. So let's explore the but. Turns out, when we really got down to it in her own enrollment conversation, she was also like a coach and healer and that sort of thing. And she was not standing in the fire with people in her objections because she didn't feel comfortable like standing in the objection with them at the level that they needed her to stand for them. And the reason is because she didn't actually fully believe in her service. And that was a huge aha moment for her. And she was like, oh my God, I don't believe in my service at the level that I actually need to. And that was like a huge realization for her. And that was her breakthrough. That was a huge coaching moment for her. And she had an opportunity with me on the phone, and then I gave her some homework and an exercise to get really clear on what she believes in, if she believes in her program, if there's something she needs to tweak in order to believe in it, basically to create forward momentum and movement in her business and in her energy. Otherwise, she was on a very dangerous, risky downhill spiral of like financial and energy, like burnout, energy, depletion. So that was huge for her. So the first thing you need to consider is, do you believe in the thing you're offering? And if you don't, you need to handle that. You need to address that, okay? The second thing that can get in the way of a person crossing over the line in an enrollment conversation is that the person doesn't believe in themselves. So that's the same example. So like, she didn't end up crossing over the line in this enrollment conversation I had with her, because she was like, I like, how can I possibly, she was like, I need to get clear that I trust myself before I take on Maya. So that was the conversation, which I totally honored. I was like, yeah, you do get to get clear with yourself. You do get to be enrolled in yourself. You do get to believe in yourself, right? And so like, but it's so cool because that was the breakthrough that she came for. And that's the work that I'm here and committed to creating for people, and then you get the person, I've also had the person who, had the objection of like, I don't have the resources. I'm actually, living in a trailer with 4 kids and my mom, and I need to, create $10,000 to pay for my lawyer this week. But she believed in herself so much, she went ahead and invested in my program, in Maya. You know what I mean? She invested in what we offer here at the Dharma Circle because she believed in herself so much, even though she didn't have the money or the resources. She figured it out and she found it and she invested and then created incredible results and success for herself. So that's the power of someone believing in themselves. So just to be clear, step 1 is the first thing is you need to really be enrolled in yourself and your services. Step 2 is they need to be enrolled in themselves and the things that they're up to in the world. So for example, I used to do sales for a love coach, and a very common objection I received as someone who was, talking to people who wanted love was they actually didn't believe that love was available to them. They fundamentally didn't believe that love was available to them. So like spending money on a program, like signing up for a program that had the promise that would help them find love, the first they needed to have the breakthrough that like they needed to believe in themselves that love was available, like that they could have love, that they were worthy of love. That was the first breakthrough they needed to have in order to say yes to the program that promised to show them how to get there. Does that make sense? So you need to think about that for yourself and your program and your offering and your services, and really get clear on what does this person need to believe in order to say yes to the thing that I'm offering them? What do they need to believe in order to say yes to the thing that I'm offering them? Do they need to believe in themselves? Probably. Do they need to believe in love? Do they need to believe in body transformation? Do they need to believe in whatever your thing is? So I'm looking at the live here. And if you have comments or questions as we're going through here, on this Facebook Live, on this Dharma Talk Tuesday, you can also ask me real time and give your example, and I can coach you on it. Okay, so here's the third one. The third thing that often causes a person not to cross over the line in an enrollment conversation is they don't actually trust you. So very few people will actually come out and say, I'm not going to do this because I don't trust you. Like, I'll do that. I'll give someone that feedback. But normal people don't do that. Usually they'll just be polite. And that's when they'll say something else like, I can't afford it. Or, I don't have time. Or, sounds great. Let me get back to you. Can I go think about it? That's a big one. If someone's just being polite, they'll just say, can I think about it? What they're really meaning is, I don't trust you. Because if someone's really feeling urgent about their problem, and if you really have gotten your market right, and you've gotten your ideal client, like your marketing and your positioning and all of that right, and you're coming from, most importantly of all, a place of intention, alignment with your body wisdom, clarity of the clarity on your unique offering, on your purpose, and you get on the phone with them, and you're fully aligned, and you're fully enrolled, and you're fully in, and that person says, I need to go think about it, that just means they don't trust you. So why is it that people don't trust us when we're in that context? There's a few different reasons why people don't trust us. And again, they're not going to actually usually say, I don't trust you. That's not why I'm doing this. So I'm just telling you the private conversations that are happening in their head so that you can get intuitive and sensitive and be prepared so that you can shift. Okay, so people need to feel like they can lean on you. They need to feel like you are a pillar of support and that you can handle them and that you're strong and that you're clear and that you have unwavering conviction in the thing that you do and the thing that you offer. So how do you depict and how do you sort of like create that energy of unwavering conviction? You have to be it. You have to be it in the way that you talk, in your essence, in your heart. If you are communicating with, like, let's say you're reading from a script. I'm like so not a fan of scripts because I think they create inauthenticity and people, it doesn't create relationship, it doesn't create trust. And so that's one of the reasons I don't use a script model. So that's one way to not create trust. Another way to break trust is to, how do I describe this? It's like you have to be really grounded in your way of being. So if you're communicating and you're finishing the ends of your sentences and they go like this, that's not super grounded. You need to finish your sentences like this. You need to slow your energy down where appropriate. You need to be clear on your point of view and your stand and your features, your offering, your benefits. Like you need to just be clear about those things and be able to answer questions in a confident way. You also need to be able to authentically say, I don't know, if you don't know something versus bullshitting people. People can smell right through that. They can see right through it. So honesty, authenticity, groundedness, conviction, faith, belief, your tone of voice depicts it. The pace at which you're communicating depicts it. It's also just such an energy thing. Like that's ultimately what I'm trying to say. It's just such an energy thing. And so I don't care if you journal. I don't care if you like need to have a conversation with someone else to get clear. You just got to get clear. You just got to get clear. And then it comes through. So being polite and not actually trusting you. That is number 3. Number 4 is confusion. So when I'm going through an offer for something, whether I'm at like speaking at an event or I'm in a one-on-one enrollment conversation, I only provide information that's relevant to that person, and I don't provide a lot of extraneous information. Or like if I'm writing copy, I only write, like every line needs to add on the previous line. And if there's a line that, or like a word or a phrase that creates distraction from where you're actually trying to go, and it takes a person off on a tangent of like, I wonder what she means by that. I wonder, like, if it takes them off on a thought tangent that is completely irrelevant to where you're trying to take them, then that's not serving. So your communication needs to be very relevant, and it needs to be very connected to what they actually said they want, which, like, if you use my sales model Cultivate, then you're specifically giving them information during the offer that was tied back to what they said they wanted at the very beginning of the call during the C, which is concern or curiosity. And that sales training is like, I do it all the time. So I did it before. I may pull it out again for you at some point. So just be on the lookout for that if you're curious about that. But the whole point here is don't create confusion. If you create confusion, a confused mind doesn't buy. That's what my mentor says. And so you want to avoid confusion. You want to avoid being confusing, because you could have like literally the solution for the person. They might have the money, they might have the resources, they might have the time. And if you create confusion in your communication, they won't move forward because they don't, like, they're not clear. And sometimes people don't know how to ask for clarity. Like, they actually don't know how to communicate. Like, I'm not clear. They don't know how to ask questions. And so you as the leader of the conversation actually need to check in energetically and tactically with what you're saying. Sometimes you can feel if someone disconnects. Do you ever feel that? Like when you're on the phone with someone and you can actually feel if they're on their computer checking Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and they're no longer present with you. Like you can feel it, you can totally feel it. And so you can feel if someone disconnects or if they like mentally go off on a tangent, like, okay, you can say something like, let me just get really clear about what I'm just saying here. So it pulls them back in. Here's what I'm trying to say. And then you can pull them back in and reground it and regroup so that you're creating clarity, not confusion. So that's number 4. Number 5 is about being present. You cannot be thinking of what you're going to say in response to what they're saying as they're talking, because you're now not being present. And if you're not being present, you can't put yourself in their shoes. And in order to be, you know, like I think about like with my boyfriend, you know, like he took me to Wildlife Animal Park on Saturday. It was so magical and fun, and I could tell he was off about something, and I was like, what's going on? And sure enough, he like had stories happening in his head that I had, you know, like I wouldn't, thank God I pried, and I was like, what's happening? And so we were waiting in line to do the like safari tour, and he shared with me a few things that were going through his head that were like taking away from his experience and his happiness and all of that. And so, you know, if as he was talking, I was trying to prepare my defense or what I was about to say, what I wanted to say, it would have showed. And I see relationships break down from that kind of dynamic all the time, you know, and that's true for an enrollment conversation as well. So it's not just for an enrollment conversation in terms of your business, it's also for relationships. So I let him talk. I said, what else? And then got it. I'm clear. And then I was able to respond. But I wasn't thinking of my response, my defense, as he was sharing the things he was thinking about and feeling challenged with. And it's so cool because then, you know, I think between him and me, the whole conversation was probably, 5 or 7 minutes long. And then we moved on. And he was happy and clear, and I was happy and clear. Like, can you imagine if you're in a relationship or if you want to be in a relationship, a conflict resolving that quickly? That's what's possible when you're amazing at enrollment. So being present. And if they're not being present, you need to call them out and say, is this not a good time to talk? Or it sounds like you're distracted over there. You know, you have to call them out. You have to, you know, get them back to being present. You have to lead them, because if they're not present, like, that's probably one of the rackets that they run in their life is distraction, multitasking, and it's not serving them anyway. So it's your responsibility to call them forth on that. Okay, so seeing who else hopped on. All right, seeing if there's any comments or questions, and I'm not seeing any. All right, so those are the 5 points that I wanted to share with you. What I also want to share with you is if you would like to hear more, obviously I could just go on and on and on and on all day forever on this topic. I'm very passionate about it because it helps people make money. I love helping people make money. It helps people heal relationships, and I love seeing happy people. So if you want more, I just want you to know I was journaling in my morning pages this morning, and I got a very clear message from God that I needed to offer something. And I was like, but I never offer that. And God was like, well, you're offering it today. And I was like, really? That doesn't really work with my marketing. And he was like, yeah, you're offering it today. And I was like, okay. So I'm being obedient, and here it is. It's a 90-minute session with me for only $9.97. And the reason why this is insane is because people normally spend $7,500 with me for 5 hours. So if you do the math, this is less than 50% of what it normally costs to work with me for this period of time. So I'm going to put a link here. It's just thedharmacircle.com/1x1, one-on-one, one-on-one enroll. I need to go look at the link, but I'll post it here. It's like thedharmacircle.com/one-on-one. Anyway, I'll go grab the link for you. But essentially, it's 90 minutes together where we can role play. I can give you specific strategic support on what's working and what's not working in your enrollment conversation. So either you can start making money, or you can start being a lot more confident in your enrollment conversations. Like, imagine the possibility for you of being able to go into a day of enrollment calls, or recognize, you know, as entrepreneurs, we can go through financial ups and downs. Like, that's a normal thing for us. And like, how powerful would it be for you to be like, wow, thank God I'm fucking awesome at enrollment and can create revenue easily and can make a difference for people easily without getting in my own way and stumbling over my own feet. Like, would that not be so powerful for you? It would give you peace. It would relieve your anxiety. It would reduce your stress. It would allow you to know that you're able to make a difference without being in your head of, am I doing this right? Like, so often I see entrepreneurs have the, am I doing this right racket? And who is that about? It's about you. And you're here to make a difference for other people. So like, get what you need, get competent, get masterful at this very important skill. I've helped thousands of people become masterful at enrollment, and I'd be happy to help you too. So I only have 4 spots available. 90 minutes for $9.97. It's a little bit silly, but I'm just doing what God said to do. So I'm going to post the link here on this thread for you to grab. I recommend grabbing it urgently because 4 spots are going to go very quickly. And what's going to happen is you're going to grab it, and then you're going to get a personal email from me. And so it's not like a funnel or anything like that. It's a personal email from me, and we're going to schedule the time together, you and me, just back and forth. Okay. So again, this is not something I ever offer. It may not ever happen again, to be honest, unless God's like, do it again. Then I'll be like, okay. But in the meantime, that may or may not happen. So if you're on the fence about receiving the support, like, don't risk it and be like, I'm going to do it the next time she offers this, because there may not be a next time. So if you are watching this and you see the link below, you're like, even if you're watching this on replay and you're like, oh, what if the 4 spots have already been taken? Like, don't hold back on getting what you need because of limiting conversations. Like, go for it anyway. Worst comes to worst, I refund you your money and I say the spots are full. You know what I mean? So go for it. And I am so excited to support you 4 lucky people who grab your spot as quickly as you possibly can, since these spots are going away. And I can't wait to help you create the results that my clients create and that the people around me create, who are able to turn around their enrollment like that. So I'll talk to you soon, and I'll see you next week on Dharma Talk Tuesday, 6 o'clock Pacific, right here in the Dharma Talk Tuesday chair. Bye.